A 13-10 that goes the way of Refrag on the first map of Lotus. And we got to see a back and forth between the two teams, especially on that first half. It seems like Refrag were going to get away with it in a more dominant fashion. But Athena, after we started seeing both the teams trying to fight back, and Umphis that was also figuring things out, they just didn't have enough time to do so.
Yeah, I felt like this game was a lot closer than I originally thought it was. They came from a really strong foundation, solid background on this map with the Lotus. And I really misjudged Umphis for picking that attack side first, but they really proved us wrong. I mean, Baby, earlier you were talking a little bit when the game was going on about how different the playstyles was, and I think that's one of the reasons why both these teams were so back and forth.
Yeah, you had one team that just had an absolute monster in the server who was, Emluo just absolutely anchoring C. And then you had the other who was Umphis basically just playing a heavy retake C. But at the end of the day, the star power that Emluo brought into the server, just starting from even the pistol round, right? Where she just bided her time around that C mound area and then waited for her team to come retake, dealing with a B to C split. I mean, it was insane to have that type of control and confidence in yourself. And she was such a big reason why this team ended up winning. I mean, Umphis looked lost on that first half for most of the time until they just basically did the simple game plan of dodge Emluo, So.
Yeah, at some point they were literally just going A and getting into the post plan. So 5 out of 7 that the post plans that they won, I'm pretty sure all 5 of them were at the A site because they were just so good at getting into that site, avoiding Emluo, and it just worked out great. But 100% I agree with you. Overall, both these teams, they played so different. But again, look at these stats. Emluo with this MVP was crazy.
And it's not only the kills that she's getting, but also the support, the utility, everything else working out for Emluo, making this deadlock look one of the best that we've seen so far in GC. We've seen some of the teams kind of run it, but oh my god, nobody is matching up Emluo Athena.
Yeah, I feel like not only was Emluo just honestly insane, mechanically insane, she was also able to just stay on that C site, hold it down, play as an actual anchor, and get multi-frags time after time after time. On top of that, they were also really good on the attack side at getting those lurks, being aggressive towards that A site. On both sides, that aggression really played out because the amount of space and map control that Emluo got was actually so beneficial for their team. And for me, for RF, Emluo definitely the standout player going into it.
I mean, 29 kills already tells you enough. On the deadlock, it's just everything working out, and it feels good when you're starting this strong. But also, baby, something that we saw was the strategy and the plays and everything coming through to make sure that Refrag were going to get this win. And it started with the first pistol.
Yeah, is the pistol that I talked about earlier. I mean, and Emluo is the crutch of that. I mean, it's such an awkward spot to be in when a team actually gets the entry on B like this. And to have the poise of even tapping the door here and not going through, and then just waiting for the retake. It's a tough thing to do. It's a fine line that you tread on. I mean, look at all this util being thrown at her, and the patience that you have, and then to still make a play like this after you get stunned is insane. She ends up winning a 1v1 backside. I mean, look at this timing. It's just insane. And this is how you start off the map, So much of Valorant can be momentum based, and if you start off like this, basically setting yourself up for your team to snowball, and then in the bonus round even, being able to take away 4 of the rifles that Umphis had and not invest your Raze Rocket, it's just more than ideal. And this map is, at times, you think of it as very attack sided, so to get off to a strong start, that's W.
That's W, as Baby likes to say. I think the cool ideas, and it's something that you guys were mentioning just a little bit when it comes to the preparation for these teams. We see how elaborate their ideas that are when it comes to the pistols, when it comes to the bonus rounds as well, Baby. And that's what is allowing Refrag to just be able to close out that map. Although, as we head into Ascent, we don't know what to expect. Umphis were playing this not very common composition. On the other side, you had Refrag playing that standard composition that we've seen on Ascent, but we've also seen teams kind of change the composition as they go and move forward in the tournament, so we can expect anything, really.
Yeah, and there's more recent footage on Oomphies, right? So it is going to be interesting to see if Refrag want to go into this with something other than standard. I'm not sure if they will, though. They've only played the map 4 times as a team, which is not a lot. You know, this is definitely one of their weaker maps, but I think overall they're pretty happy with how the picks and bans went, especially after winning that Lotus, even though it was a little bit close.
Yeah, I feel like for me, the reason that I felt RF really won out on Lotus, regardless of the close scoreline, is because they were just so much quicker at adapting. And you mentioned like the weird kind of cons that Oomphy sometimes has, Baby, but I feel like regardless, RF, they just have such a good idea going into on how to kind of counter. It takes them a couple rounds to come back into it, but for that Ascent, it's so standard, it's such a meta kind of gameplay style that it could be really easy for them to kind of figure out the protocols that they need to follow. So for me, going into Ascent, I'm going to be really looking forward to kind of the mid rounds and see which team comes out on top.
Yeah, no matter what the composition ends up looking like, as we get to see on the set of Oomphies, they're going to be playing the Astra, Deadlock, and Cypher. So it's going to be that double Sentinel with Astra as a controller. No matter what, you want to be able to control the game, and that's something that Refrag has been able to do. So even when it's slipping through their fingers a little bit, maybe they're able to catch it in time. Is there something else that you think we should be looking forward on this map of Ascent?
I definitely think RF are going to need to play a little bit disrupty on their defensive side. They're going to have to kind of take the fight against this composition, because if you look at it on paper, if Oomphies actually get control of either A or B site, the post plant's going to be a disaster to go up against. I mean, you're not going to want to deal with, you know, the Deadlock utility, maybe even a trip. You got shock darts, you got the suck from Astra. The only detriment to running a composition like this for Oomphies is, do you have enough punch to actually get through the choke? You know, so if they can get stuffed, or if Refrag can kind of disrupt, you know, when the actual site hit is coming through, it might be tough to play this comp on the attacking side, especially with the change of Oomphies going towards that Astra. They played Clove on this map as a solo controller for the last like 10 matches they've played. So it's going to be a different pace.
I just want to like go on to that as well. We've seen Oomphies play really good retakes and really good post plants. So I really think that letting them get into the site is going to be so cursed for Refrag. Yeah. But that being said, obviously, Emlo, we've seen them kind of go beast mode. And I feel like just as a team, mechanically, they are just a teensy little bit up there, a little bit better. And so taking the fights is definitely doable, and using that KO flash, using the util in the right way is going to be something that's really cool. We didn't even see them play with a flash character yet, so we don't know how kind of that process is going to be, but ideally the KO should be working good for them.
It's about having control of this game of Ascent, and it's definitely not an easy thing to do with that composition that we're seeing on the set of Oomphies, but if somebody can make it happen, it's going to be Refrag. Let's find out if Refrag is going to get this win 2-0, or is going to be Oomphies pushing us to map number 3, and it's going to be with their casters is Gumpers and Riff.
Hey, I mean, Oomphies fought for their life going into this, right? So
I want to map 3.
Yeah, right? All is not vain. All is not lost. This is the possibility for a comeback here, Riff.
Absolutely. I really think that Oomphies found what they needed to do, at least read Refrag really well towards the end, and that's going to build confidence in Oomphies and with the decisions that they're making, that their leader's calling, and that they're trying to move forward with. And maybe they will have a little bit more aggression coming in here. You can get on the back of Supercat as Supercat heads into the site off of all this cover, off of all this control that you know nothing's coming in behind you, and it'll work out well. That retake should be pretty decent. Obviously, KO shutting everything down. It's going to be tough here, but we will see as we get kicked off on Ascent here. 2-3 split to start for Oomphies. And it looks like a little bit of a heavy stack towards A for Refresh.
Standing ahead.
That crosshair's so thick. That's the first thing that comes to mind here.
The chonk hair.
The chonk hair is so accurate. It's so real.
Drone out towards Cat. A lot of mid control here for Oomphies to start. You might see this a few times as they work the map 1-3-1. They know they got a dart out for about 40 seconds towards C, and they're figuring out where some of this util is. As it looks like it's going to be an A hit in the end. The separation could cause trouble.
Calling their name there. They just got free access to space up in tree, and it makes it so much worse because now Louvely down, Riv trying to fight. Just up top of the A site. It's over. 3v3. Not too much of a player advantage, though. So RF, they do have the possibility for a comeback here.
Millie with that push walled off, though, so there's only 2 getting into sight. Is there an updraft? No, just a smoke. So there's not really a way to get to this wall. Kazler buying time. They're trying to get to just every way that they can. It'd be too tough to go through any of those orbs on the wall right now. Still going to try. There is a weapon behind if they need to get more ammo. All right, they're timed in. Let's see if they can do it.
Oh, wow, okay. Just a run and gun. And again, it's the confidence that does carry you so far with Emluo now with a headshot down.
Who?
And big on communication for RF.
That was so good. The jump up going in from Kazler. Then the noise was made from Millie. Millie made the most noise to start that off after breaking the wall and getting a reload. And then the site was just swarmed from top and side. And who else to get him through another pistol with something big? Amluo coming up with 2 on that one. But this push through, the control from Millie on A-Long cannot be understated. That was so big for that control.
Yeah, they kind of shut that down real nice. And they sandwiched in to the point where, you know, they had all the intel on where everyone was, but also they knew they had some sort of refrag potential, which was so good off the side of refrag.
Man, those retakes are so good by refrag on in this series so far. Same strat again. They've said that might be conditioning. They're doing it with a little less util this time. Oh, yep, okay. Sun was in her eyes.
It's such an interesting change, too, because I'm so used to, you know, from the last game, refrag pushing out continuously and kind of choosing to pick the fights very, very early on. For early engagement, but it feels like that's not happening. Obviously, Ascent not the very forgiving site to do that. But so passive and so adaptive right now.
Seeing some nice spice here in these shots. Kuronami with a riot buddy. Tonight, that's a taster's choice right there. That's a good setup. And Millie again, long A controls, seems to be locked down there at least for the first round.
Yeah.
Get the Bulldog down. He'll get picked up again. But they are still leaving some weapons on the ground. So 3 kills on that. Not too bad for Oompies. Oompies to get through that round with that damage. And they'll see what they can do here on the bonus. They should be able to just wipe right through here.
The farm, you know, for some orbs too. They're so close to having some that's on the board based off previous rounds, right? But leaving only a couple players left alive on refrag definitely gives them potential to load up a little bit more. But it's just segregating what exactly you want to fight for, right? We could fight for Super Cat to have that for the next round under the circumstance Economy comes through or whatnot. So
see how they're using Avery too. Bringing that Astra into the composition, having some stars towards A now. It's nice to have that extra star. They're just going to go ahead. That was a diss on Cat as they get back and forth. Trying to get a few back. So a fake towards A with the stars. They could still end there, but it looks like Avery's just trying to do a bit of dismissing and messing with them at this point. A real smoke on Cat.
This is such a cute combo. Kazler's so well fed with info now, and the reposition starts. So at this point, they're not going to utilize these, so it's a one and done. They could possibly get more, and here it comes, though. 2 players readily available to the touchdown. So much damage, actually, surprisingly, from refrag.
2 kills means an easy entrance. Yeah, they're going to back up. Good patience on this round. Again, using the Astra Stars towards A to hold the members of refrag there. Make sure they're not hopefully joining together any shotguns or a few of these sheriffs. And it looks like they have whittled down the numbers enough to make this a pretty easy round and a bonus to grab for Oompies.
Refrag are keeping their hopes high. Oh gosh, Refrag limited there, especially with Millie coming in. And it has to be potential to take it back. I mean, the possibility is big. Riv is there to possibly take this one down. I mean, honestly, just baiting any sort of utility to keep them alive. Yeah, the vulnerability there. So yeah, it's going to be a 1 tap to the head there coming through from Panday for a 3K. But Oompies putting themselves on the board.
Their confidence begins to crack.
Getting a little lax there. Didn't need to lose that many guns. I think that situation is just losing control of what angles are being watched and kind of doing a spray. You're drawing the fight. Yeah, you're seeing if they push, but you drew the fight a little too hard. And it's just, I think Oomfies will slow down on those situations. Not a problem. They've still got a bit to buy in. It is going to mean some low armor, but they just avoid Millie, and it won't matter, right? The operator's out now. This could be big. Millie's going to be at A. A little overwatch on Riv's position here as Aluvali also towards that side, and we'll see what Oomfies can do. It is just mid control after mid control. They like the variety of being able to work basically anywhere.
Listen, Millie, we saw what they could do with the Outlaw, so there is a bit of a fear factor when it comes to seeing that up in hand.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we'll see exactly how that works out, because info's already coming through, and Kazler's making that way.
Yeah, Guardian tap on Aluvali through the wall there. Slowly forward, Panday's just on the other edge. Oh, didn't see the alert. Yeah, that was going to be the play, but it was already thought about. Love to see stuff like that. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try to reset Strat B, whatever that might be. They're still holding. And this is what Oomfies did last time too, right? Sometimes they got into that position. Going down here, Kazler gets one. And they waited and to see if Refrag would come out of their hiding spots. And other times they would go a little faster. Here it doesn't look like Refrag is giving them as much.
30 seconds left.
And they're really staying on the defensive side.
Oh, my territory, my
That was a quick peek out.
Managed to get shot
Carry?
down though.
Carry?
This is good. I like the ultimate. Nobody's going to shoot it down, so they actually eliminate Riv out of the, my apologies, not Riv, Kazler out of the equation. So any sort of information that could have come through from this retake is gone. Maybe Riv can fight for something. Of course, there is the suppression to come through, but Carry is insane and on their A game and forcing a save from them, but actually catching them before they can leave.
That was a great round from Carey, picking up 4, able to just pull the team right through the round, especially after there was kind of a stutter to the round as well. They were seen in mid, they didn't know if that was going to work, and then boom, Carey opens up B, and it's a little of the same situation that happened the previous round. Somebody was spamming, the angle wasn't being watched, Carey just walked into B and shot Kazler in the head, or whoever was spamming the wall there, or getting prepared to, so... Yeah, I think the angles need to get watched a little bit more in that communication so it doesn't fall away as fast. Millie going fast towards mid. The Sheriffs are going to be quick on this round.
This is good though, Terror. Looking to eliminate any sense of util that might be placed, but Emerald's not there. Consistently placing themselves on B for information. Now the A side is theirs, but the retake might just be equally as effective, right? Lockdown available for Emlua.
This would be big if they decide to use it. Great reaction so far by Oomfies. Hearing the push towards mid, they decide to go for a rush towards A. Very unlike them, but they know the play has to be made. Double shock dart out. Kazler taking damage on the defensive side as they try to get themselves in now.
Riding underneath. Maybe this might be the play. Everybody's trying to make way, but...
Wait, they did this on Ascent
Refrag.
too.
They're doing it so good. Keeping themselves left onto the site. They're holding it well. This is coming through and body blocking as well, but it's already left down in half. And Louvely make way. Actually, no, it's not. They didn't get it half. They managed to eliminate just in time for the round win.
That's insane. I also thought it was half because I was watching the firefight, not the meter go up, and I was like, oh, that was, of course, half. It's long enough. That must have been just under. Maybe it wasn't even close. Who knows? But, yeah. That was close. Refrag just going for the quick one. We'll see it here on the top of your screen. Okay, so it was a good thumbnail off. But, yeah, great spams, great pressure. It did look a little sketchy for a second. And that's a lot of money to be brought back into the game, or credits rather. But both teams are going to have a bye. I feel like 5 ultimates. Pretty powerful, though. Does Refrag let Oomfies walk into a trap here, or do they try to use these ultimates right in their face? Mid control again. Refrag's going to start getting an idea of this and maybe start pinching in a little bit more on these rounds. Ooh. Amluo again out of B.
They did manage to take out some of the util here withstanding, but yeah, mid util gone. Actually, majority of the players gone as well within a matter of seconds, and you misplace. Now Emluo and Kazler, 2 very, very strong assets for the B site. The retake, it just becomes brutal. Oh, wow.
Almost 2. Panday's been here as the anchor almost all the time. Really holding it down. And it's going to be a tough retake. Locked into sight is 3 members of Oomfies, and they should be able to grab themselves a 4th round here. The attacks have been so effective. That's another round where they basically walked up mid to see where the alert bot, if there is one, and get some kills off it. Find a movement, whether it is in mid or on the other side of the map, that mid pressure is creating and helping.
Last player standing.
Oh, and there it goes.
Such good
not-
control on the bomb.
Not going to be easy. They have Avery. I think Avery's been pretty annoying, in my opinion, when it comes to the post plants, because you're really hoping you're in a 1v2 situation, and then you see an orb there, or a star, and then you're kind of like, yeah, at this point, there really is nothing I can do.
Look at that. Just runs up mid. Supercat's like, all right, let's do quiet here. Let's get some pizza, go through mid. And we talked about that. Supercat has been ebbing and flowing through these games. A lot of times you're seeing Carry and Terror on the top of that list, which is never a bad thing. They're usually crushing it as Carry is up there, but Supercat is now. And having your Jet, especially on Ascent, be able to disrupt while dashing into the site, still get a return on that, and not just your life as going in so the team can get the site is so big. So to see that from Carry is huge for Oomfies. No, I'm sorry, Supercat. So they go towards mid a little bit later than usual, but it's just a little play towards A to start off as they go back to this 1-3-1 that kind of just hangs out, knowing that Avery can work across the map, and usually in a position here, Avery can keep themselves alive. You have, like you said, that suck off the bomb, you can get them, you have the smokes, so not too bad. If they just keep Avery alive, they have a lot of post.
The positioning was so good off Ammo, but it's the fear. Like, you could see the hesitation in the movement.
Yep.
So at that point, Panday was like, yeah, let me chill with that. I'm good. But for Oomfies at this point, I actually wanted to iterate on this too. Terror is such a big detrimental player to this team as a Sova, and it's so slight, but we're actually getting hit of it now. As to where their assist marker goes from like 8+ assists throughout every game they play on this map, and you can see why.
Yeah, setting up everyone. Arrows over the shoulder, drones in the right spots to push somebody out of position. Getting their own frags, no problem. Or Kazler getting their own frags from the Sova spot, no problem. But the defense is too strong here. Avoiding those sonar bolts, avoiding the util is refrag, and they pick up a lot of kills on that B entry as they just shut down Oomfies at the front door. Okay, so we have Dueling Hunter's Fury. Lockdown is ready, though, so it's an idea of when do we get one, or is it saved for the lockdown? We'll have to see what the choice is. See how this one ends. A nice Thrifty going in for refrag. We know how big they can get on these eco rounds. Like you said, last round of the first half of Lotus showed us just how effective they can be on a low buy. So towards mid. Another round, broken record towards mid, always. We're just going to leave that as their base strat now. Not default, just towards mid.
Towards mid. That is honestly, like, it's the easiest place to gain space, to be completely fair. Because there's not going to always be anyone watching it, especially with, like, the strat of having the marker there down inside of mid. But, I mean, either way, fight's already commencing, and Showstopper's making way. It's beautiful for refrag.
Oh, right away, causing pressure with the Hunter's Fury. They just get more shots towards mid. Know the spike is down. They don't want to pinch too hard right now. Millie thinks somebody could still come towards A, and they don't know what's on Cat. So it's all about this double to mid. In a 1-for-1 trade.
This is so good. Oh, that was not good. That was
Peekaboo.
so scary. That was so... I literally, my mouth dropped for a millisecond the way Avery just wide swung and immediately went into astral form, but it works. The headshot in, and it would have been it, but 2 players still readily available, and refrag. I mean, they're bringing it 4-4.
They are. So towards mid isn't having that great effect that it was before. Refrag's now starting to figure it out, and I think it's on Oomfies now to change it up. Agency goes to them. What can they do? So it looks like it is going to be a little bit more of a focus towards A. They do not have that B player this time, and we actually see Millie in a mid position. Last time this was a dive forward. Not sure if you're going to get the same thing, but yeah, flash over wall, dive forward tiles. I hope they hold it. Had the flash out for a moment, but they said, you know what? Yeah, we'll just walk out. We'll walk out. Insta change. Audible call. But 5 towards A. A first here. Hunter's Fury could help on this site take. But they're going to go off with this dart as it appears in sight.
Barrier deployed.
Very clear majority of the outside angles too. They know which angles to hold, although not aware that Aluvli is there. Up onto sight, down underneath how Supercat slowly making way, and here it comes for the attack. This might be the moment for them to bring that lead back. How easy is it going to be? Suppression there. Riv is just open and waiting for a revival. It doesn't come through. This is the perfect situation to be in if you are playing on Oomfies, right? The quick take onto the site, the perfect execution. Yeah, lockdown isn't even going to be enough at this point.
No mollies. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I want to see the molly for wine coming from a KJ. The thing is your mollies are already set up. If you have mollies for retake, then you're really lucky they didn't go B. But man, it's so fast. All 3 of them there, you just throw 2 mollies over and hope that one of them misses. They're pretty easy to shoot, so it's usually why you'll never see the strategy. But 3v1, as I dream in my head, KJ plays. Tense this, and only gets 1 on that 4 for Supercat. Definitely stepping up. Claws are out.
They're having a good time. For Oomfies in particular, I mean, that was tremendous, right? Like, everything that could have happened perfectly. They got the trade-off on Aluvli, who was trying to make, that really sneaky play, and it was perfect.
Nothing there. Enemy remains.
Man, the annihilations this game, I gotta say, they've been really good. Everybody's throwing some good stuff.
I agree.
Ooh, the ops back out. I wondered if this would happen again. It didn't have too much of an effect last time, and it's a big investment here as we come into round 10. Drone up. The drone's going to see the op right away. Shot and dash. This play from Aluvli on tree has been so good, but it misses that one, and it's just missing by an inch on each side.
They can't hit. It's not hitting, and this is so bad. They do manage to actually push themselves outward. Yeah, and just underneath. Imagine getting that through the wall,
Good
and Emblemo
God.
is insane for refrag to keep them in the game like this. Taking the MVP down in the last game, and now just solidifying themselves as the killjoy and the sentinel that you probably don't want to run into.
That's a gross amount of detection from Kazler coming in that round. 2 people were lit up under hell there as they came in. Millie gets out alive. And yeah, that was a swarm of a fight. Emluo just drops into sight, getting a 3K as everybody's on heaven trying to figure out what's the safest thing to do. But no, 12 and 9 right into the site. Why not? Emluo and Carry on top here as we get into round 11. And from A to mid to mid, we finally get a big B here out of Oomfies. And this is going to be the operator. So they're going to walk right into Millie.
My
Whose shot is it? Supercats or Millie?
Neither. Okay, back up. The plan is done. But at the same time, I like the positioning here, but the smoke just completely deteriorates away from it. Now so much space made off that smoke alone. And they are going to manage to push themselves up, though. Attacking side slowly making the difference. And it's Kazler that does it themselves. Player advantage on Oomfies on a save round, surprisingly enough, but Carry, hero rifle potential here.
Really cool wall. I mean, what are you going to do as Millie with an operator when the wall goes up? Sure, you're going to try to no-scope somebody when they come through, but that puts you in such a sweaty situation, and that was such a nice way to counter the operator being close on site. In they go. Supercat Sheriff, still a Bucky on Avery here, and this could be a round they get in their favor. Oh, this is sketchy.
New timing is so brilliant. What?
My. So sick.
A thrifty.
So sick.
Last round
For
before
that?
the switch.
That's crazy.
Avery playing hopscotch on people over there with a Bucky to end that one. Really, really nicely done on that round. We've seen a lot of the thrifties in Refrag's favor, but this one, chef's kiss.
Oh my gosh. And I love the abuse of kind of just maneuvering themselves around their own smoke to make sure nobody knew where Avery was. It was
And that's
so
a perfect
good.
point.
Yeah.
It's a perfect point. Their smokes, these stars, the Astra they picked up for this ascent. They can continue to use those, dismiss and pull them back, and we've seen Avery do that a bunch. And now uses one of their own stars to get a pivotal 2 kills with a Bucky on a thrifty round. Really stellar stuff from picking up this agent into the composition for Oomfies here. It looks like they might be able to grab a 7-5 first half with the buy being slightly low on refrag side. So check on Wine. Clear there. Hunter's Fury is up. And they have done a little bit of damage. Just a little love tap to Emulo in the beginning of the round. But they're back to A. They're going to be facing 3 members of refrag.
Push. Not gonna be so easy though. It seems like they're trying to push past suppression to maybe stop it from happening, but Supercat not afraid! And especially now with Kazler playing that refrag positioning. This is good. If you're refrag right now in this moment, all you need to do is play together, right? The recon dart sent out, you know where some of these players are, and now the Hunter's Fury. This is the perfect way to slowly make sure, hey, I'm clearing these angles for you, just push.
I wonder if that timing is there. They basically just cleared hell with that Hunter's Fury, so they should be able to... Oh, my.
The jump was crazy. The jump was crazy.
The Avery fade away to get that one. Yeah, the jumps coming across. They're like, I can make it. Done. Just made it like 3 hops, and then it was over. What a first half by Oomfies. Coming alive there, doing some really cool stuff and working off the conditioning that they were setting to refrag. It looked like it was like a more of a, not a guessing game for refrag, but always kind of a step behind, trying to figure out whether they got their shots or not because their aim has been on. But it did seem like Oomfies finally got that groove that allowed them a little space, allowed them to play their own game.
Keeping that groove nicely. I really do like, you know, despite Millie really trying hard to solidify that op to be that game changer, I didn't see it, and it was majorly because Oomfies really are just not afraid of it. And that really, I felt like, carried them far throughout that half.
Yeah, they didn't. So nobody has been with Millie each time there's an op, too. And Terror is going to find you with its sonar, most likely, or an owl drone, most likely. So what's it going to be? Oh my god, Emulo's pistols are disgusting this series. Killer not damage be done. Supercat trades back, though. Gets a bit of their own damage. Better than you this time, she says. And they see if they can grab this pistol and bring it up to 7-6. They would be able to basically get themselves a few rounds here and really put the pressure on refrag if they can continue this.
Wow, they read this like a book, too. You'd assume with Emulo going down, you know, that Sentinel, that Lurk player, you'd assume that A push coming through. So Oomfies making that rotation up towards A and kind of focusing a bit more towards that. So this gives free sight over to RF. Yeah, but it's not going to happen as easily. This is beautiful usage of util. Deadlock and Terror working together here, though getting caught out by Kazler.
30
Shot
seconds.
just in the last moment of jumping through. RF play a little bit of the long game here after losing one and re-hit the site they initially go to. Now it's the retake. 3 ghosts and a sheriff coming in against 4 ghosts. Deadly pistols on the map right now.
Well, this is good, though. Okay, Avery just solidify one coming out of the attack. But the biggest issue is how are they going to be able to remove themselves even further from getting eliminated? But Oomfies, yeah, they have absolutely no issue of keeping the site and making sure it's there. So it's beautiful, waiting for the retake to come through, kind of baiting that as well, the plant or the defuse.
You're doing a nice job. A lot of teamwork. That left side run towards towards lane. Beautiful double team. They get themselves the kill and already had somebody downstairs and a third person as well. So nicely done by Oomfies there. It does seem like the confidence is pushing or just on high for them. So they're going to stick with some low buys here going into the bonus.
Right here.
We've usually seen that change a little bit, but they stay with the Bucky on Avery. Maybe we want to throw around a bigger gun later here. Avery did go down, though, so that's actually going to be quite a bit of a purchase for her. Sheriffs around on the She Go. A few shots from Emulo on that left side. And it looks like the spike is down, telling us that this round is really just going to be a walkabout to see if they can figure out where Oomfies is playing, if they can get Oomfies to move, and then a final red timer hit on one of these sites. Oh. Ooh, right under, but they saw it. They got you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so weird. That's so quirky. I love the idea behind that. Okay, yeah, be weirdly deceived by my oddly placed trap.
It's like, oh man, I can get under this. They messed up. Oh wait, I got seen. Cool little mind games, and that delays quite a bit of time, right? This whole setup has been Oomfies trying to see like where, or Refrag, where can we go? What can we do? Oh wait, they saw us. Whatever, let's hit it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how Avery keeps doing that. How do you just keep? Okay, I missed the first shot, but somehow
You
I
put
still
a
managed
little
to
skip
find the
in your
second.
step just to do it, whatever. You know, they come around the corner, they're not expecting it, and then you're already unleashing another 8 whatever rounds of buckshot into your opponent. So
That's
little hopscotch and 1-2. Avery seems to be able to come up with some Bucky kills round after round. So
Sound sensor up.
they're still on a
good.
bit of a low buy as that buy now comes through for Refrag.
there.
9-5. What a change for Oomfies here in their confidence. Let's see if they can keep it going. Supercat's going to peek with the Outlaw towards tiles.
Okay, but positive to keep this going, though. I like that big push outward. Very, very aggressive from kind of what we saw on Lotus, which is such a big difference. But we know this team. They're so adaptive. They like to make sure that, you know, everything is ever-changing, and they are trying to put their best game forward. There it goes.
It's true.
So many players already slowly rotated down onto the side, and Super Cat is making this flawless round come to fruition.
Less oopsies, more oomfies this map. Big stuff coming in here, even on those lower buys. Really big. That was the Vandal round for Refrag. They're like, all right, we're in. We get past that Outlaw, we're Gucci. No problem. Oh my God, Outlaw's killing all of us. We're getting torn down. This didn't work. Now Refrag is probably pretty stumped. They're going to go ahead and go for a mid play. They obviously have plays to work, but getting hit on a round like that is tough. So Oomfies is now in their head a little bit. They're getting the rounds 10-5, and the pressure's on. Gonna get a little Ares spam from the back here for Terror. And they're still on some of these low buys too, knowing that they don't have to push their money because of what RF has to go through at this point. So Spike's down for another round here. We're gonna walk about and figure out what Oomfies is doing.
Avery smokes.
Oh.
Backing them off at the same time. Yeah, and Terror's all they need to do is watch. This is so weird. But at the same time, right, you have Sheriff's in hand. Refrag not necessarily doing as good as I genuinely thought they would. I mean, this is actually more of a comfort pick on Oomfies, if you guys didn't know. So they haven't played Ascent a lot for Refrag. They've only played it a total of, 4 times versus the, I believe, 7 times that we've seen Oomfies play this map?
Right, yeah. They were talking about that on the desk, and you wonder, Lotus gets through, and Ascent gets through. You're like, okay, they're going for haymaker swings on a few of these maps that the teams have allowed their opponent to play. And it does seem to be striking true, or ringing true, rather, for Oomfies to come out swing here. 11 rounds now to 5. We're going to see another bye here for Refrag, but everybody is stepping up on the side of Oomfies this game. And they're just making it happen so easy. It's just Ares spam kills. Emulo hardly comes around the corner with health. And you still have good weaponry to defend that. We get one of our first timeouts. Hey, bad.
I think this is so pivotal. Like, Refrag, they're not doing too hot. They're constantly getting shut down. And I think it's just because they're not actually playing for the expectation that Oomfies is going to peak. Oomfies is playing for the 1v1. Oomfies is playing for, I feel like they have to start to speculate that Oomfies is going to be around every corner because they are always caught off guard. For example, Panday and the trip, what was that? Like, it's the unknown that I feel they never really account for here.
That's the fun stuff that, they didn't use that or get to use that any other round. But the round it is effective and it pays off, it's exactly what you need. That strat worked. Okay, we move on to the next one that they haven't actually run into yet. And it seems like Oomfies has an assortment of those rounds that continues to just make Refrag hit a wall, make Refrag have to wait, figure out where more of the agents are before it feels comfortable to move forward. Unlike Lotus, where they were hitting shots, spinning around, clapping 2 people, and taking these sites on 2 fronts, with 2 points of the attack. Here they can't get that positioning as easy, and Oomfies is doing a great job at defending now. Supercat takes down the turret, so now it has to be watched a little bit more by Mluo for the moment. But mid is finally played pretty hard here by RF. They're doing a little bit of map control, trying to take down some of this stuff that they can find. Give Oomphy something to think about before hitting the site.
My ult's ready.
Damn. Supercat was thinking about getting first blood. That's for sure.
The damn was so like that was core value. I felt that in my chest. Oh my gosh, reformed our. I mean, sorry, refrag. If I say one more time, somebody please call me out and like bully me in chat. I'm actually gonna cry. But anyways, Smoke making his way back up. Oh, and that's huge actually. So much information coming through because they're not peeking through smoke. So obviously there's only one pathway where they could really create for themselves. So yeah, Oomphy's bringing themselves up to that, I mean, evident match point.
That was fish in a barrel. Panday threw out a cage towards Pat, and then they sonar bolted it? You're kidding me. Or he threw, okay, so it's in the middle of sight. Sorry, I misread where it was. But yeah, having that cage in sight and then just bolting the sight as well. Oh my God. Free shots through the cage, like you said. All that information just coming in. Absolutely crazy.
Over there.
Oomphies, where was this last map? Honestly, this is crazy. They are absolutely shutting down Refrag. Refrag's going to go ahead and spike down for even what could be a final round, as they just move about the map first before making that happen. Okay, my bad. Aluvely has ult, so it doesn't really matter where the spike is at that point, but it does look like they grab it before they head to their destination, a retreat towards B. So let's see here. Kazler with one ult orb. Will that be the grab in, or will that be actually the null command for Riv, is the question. Null command for Riv coming up. Just seeing if anybody peeks. Are they going back to A here, Gompers? I don't feel sure about this B just yet.
Know. This is
Null
not
command at A is pretty effective.
I think they know, like... I'm not even sure. They get shut down so many times on both sides of site, but to continuously go A knowing that's Panday's, like, home spot, home field, that's been, like, the biggest issue. It is so curious to me. But I assume because they do have that null command, that might be, like, that leading incentive. 30 seconds. Yeah, knock shot's not going to look too pretty here. Mluo down, kind of baiting into the attention down towards mid, but either way, suppression there. All they need are the weapons and the shots. And Refrag, they try their best to keep it intact, but at 3v3, listen, this is potential though.
Look for a dart. Annihilation bounce to sight. Not finding. Oh, just to the top left of the head.
Oh, and they're preoccupying Supercat just enough to keep them at bay. They know, oh, flashing themselves. That's not going to look too good. Pop flash actually coming back again out from Riv now. And nobody swings. I mean, it's unfortunate because information coming through. Of course, Terror now in 2 players 1v2 situation. With Oomphies winning this one out, it is the congratulations. And
wow.
Also, Riv, we're going to a 3rd map.
We are getting the 3rd map, and I feel like we just started this one. What the heck? That was quick. That was domination. That's exactly what you want to do heading into a 3rd map. Like, to play like that and show strong with the new agent in your composition and the way you're playing Smokester on the map, and that it was Astra, and to be able to find that result was really incredible. So great restructuring there, great recoup by Oomphies here, and I'm sure Refrag is just kind of wondering where they can fix some of that stuff from Ascent. Yeah,
I think for both players too, the map that we're going to, it is, I feel like, a little bit more aimed towards Oomphies, especially in terms of that comfort pick, but I believe we're going to Bind? Not quite sure. Yeah, and that's pretty exciting. I mean, we've already seen, you know, map picks from both sides regarding comfort. So, you know, obviously coming through with Refract, doing such a good job on Lotus. And then the second map of Ascent, doing such a good job on that with Oomphies. And now the question is, who will be the winner of that 3rd map? Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back with more Valorant Challengers. I mean, Valorant Game Challengers.
Red Bull gives you wings. The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secretlab Titan Evo. ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Boom. What?